the book of Sirach, chapter 21, verse 14. The inner parts of a fool are like a broken vessel, and he will hold no knowledge as long as he liveth. Okay, first and foremost, I like to give infinite honors and prayers to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations to the icon that's pushing the truth and sincerity. Lord willing, this video be edifying, first and foremost to the hopeful elect, then to those that cleave to the body. And this is going to be an extension, ride and talk real quick, an extension from the lesson we just went in on the video. All right? Because, you know, whether you laugh or rage with a fool, there's no rest. You know? So, really, technically, you shouldn't be dealing with a fool or forcing an issue, because at this point, all right, if a man is foolish, then you know that's the state he want to be in, obviously. All right? A fool weary his own self. All right? That's why it says in Sirach 22:7, whoso teacheth a fool is as one that glueth a potsherd together, and as he that waketh one from a sound sleep. Because if a man sleeping in, you know, in peace and resting, all right, you know, we know how, you know, how hard it is to just get sound sleep, you know, in this captivity we're in. So when a man is, you know, trying to get his rest, he need it, all right. But when you compare it to basically trying to teach a fool, it's like, you know, it's like a thorn in your side almost, man. You know? And why glue something that's broken together, which have the have the capacity to come back apart. All right, the glue can fall off, but you know, just the point, man. All right, it's just the point of dealing with a fool. Sirach 19:11, it says a fool travaileth with a word. Yeah, man, you know, it's painful to him, it's hurtful. And then the words of the Lord is it's like it wounds the spirit. All right, a wounded spirit, who can bear that? So when you really start to deal with the world, or a fool, or he who's not accustomed to wisdom and knowledge, or therefore even want to come out of the state of stupidity, okay, which we were fools at once. So, you know, this is not an epistle to every man gonna be a fool. You know, I'm just talking about a fool who just arrogant. You know, he arrogant in his foolishness, man. You know, one who don't want to change. All right, he don't want to. He don't want to be reformed. He want to be accustomed to a lie all his life, man. You see? It says a fool travaileth with a word as a woman in labor with a child. Yeah, it's painful. You know? The truth is painful and it stinks. So if you actually worry about the pain rather than it being an actual it actually piercing you as an arrow to pierce your soul to let you know something is wrong or something is hurting, then, you know, what good is it? All right? Why labor with such pain, you know, and you don't get anything out of it, man? You know? You don't start, that fool don't start to change his ways. He don't begin to acknowledge, you know, what's coming over. You know, it just, whether you laugh or rage, you can't rest with him. It says, as an arrow that sticketh in a man's thigh, so is a word within a fool's belly. So the world is foolish. Most people are foolish. All right. You know something? Let's get this. Let's get this. This word foolish. Time for this to be long. Fool. A silly, stupid, or ignorant person a madman, an insane person, an idiot. You see? All right? An idiot. You know? It says, don't jest with a rude man. It says rogue and jester. All right? I think it's a scripture that said about don't jest with a rude man. It's an insane thing. Now, you in it, you know, if you end up in a situation, whether you been in a fight or somebody shooting at you, like trying to go in, it says not to get a pearls unto the swine. All right? So if you end up trying to teach a fool or, you know, show somebody something who already stuck in certain their ways, you know, hey, the blowback that may come from that, hey, it may affect your walk, you know? So we got to be cautious and real particular how we choose our battles, how we pick our battles, all right? You know, and you going to know the spirit of a fool, because he going to give off this, again, he going to jest with you, all right? Let's deal with that word jest. An empty-headed person, right? With the wind, just all over the place, all right? Let's deal with that word jest. Sirach 21:18. As is a house that is destroyed, so is wisdom to a fool, and the knowledge of the unwise is taught without sense, man. You know? It's, you start telling them how to correct something, they'll ask you a question, you know, a legit question. You tell them according to the biblical way to address that matter, and they'll start to say, well, that Bible ain't real. Well, what we doing, right? You know, like, how, you know, where do we go from here? You know, well, where they say that at in the Bible? Then when you tell it to them, right, and they can't, you know, they can't gainsay against it. The next thing is to, you know, defraud the Bible, downplay the Bible. Hey, that ain't real, you know? And we got many pictures of men just showing their gait of foolishness, you know? Whether it be by gimmicks, whether it be by, you know, all kind of, you know, fronts and, you know, whatever, you know, Jake pulling out the rabbits out the hat, or what they doing, man. At this point, you know, and the women itself, like, man, what are you doing? You know, we were watching a video with the Jakes. I think that's Wi-Fi. I don't really know. All right, that was dealing with the women. All right, that was in Memphis, I think. You know, and they kicked the sign over, pulled the dreads out his head, and you know everything that was going on. And we was like, man, the women are foolish. They tell you in Proverbs, matter of fact, that 13:7. It's a waste of time, man. You gonna tell a woman she got the tie of a harlot on, but she's a whore. So, like, you know, I understand Jake trying to correct the women, but man, listen, you gotta read Ecclesiastes 7, man. No, there's not none that's good. So you gotta understand in this lifetime that, all right, you know, if she's a righteous woman, she's gonna be covered up at home. She's gonna be doing the things of righteousness, man. She's not gonna be outside showing half her body in the middle of the night. Memphis, over here, over there, doing this, doing that, man. You see? She gonna have virtue, you know, in some kind of way, right? She gonna be a double gracing to her husband. She gonna be doing what her husband's, you know, asks her to do, man. All right, I think it's Proverbs 9:13. Yeah, might be 9:13. This what this was about, but we was going into it on a video. It's like a 2-for-1. Yep. It says 9:13. A foolish woman is clamorous. She is simple and knoweth nothing. So when that brother, or you know, whoever that was calling the woman over there to tell her, you know, to read the scripture, he read one scripture that say hoes ain't gonna make it into the kingdom of heaven, you know. But I mean, which scripture that he read? You know, I don't know, you know. But there's neither here nor there. I'm just saying, you know, he's just like, oh, hoes ain't gonna make it to the kingdom of heaven. Okay, so all right, that's, I mean, if you know, like you say, your approach, sometimes your approach, you just gotta leave Eve alone. You know? Let them stay over there and be naked or whatever, you know, whatever. That's on them. She is simple and know it nothing, man. All right? So when you dealing with the matters of fools or empty-headed people, all right, you gotta know how to discourse, all right? Because the discourse of the godly is always with wisdom, you know. As the scriptures say, man, you know, doctrine unto fools is as fetters on the feet and manacles on the right hand, is entrapping them. They not, you know, nobody wants to be tied down or, you know, entrapped to where they can't do or feel free on what they want to do with their life. They live in America where America said, do as thou wilt. The scriptures does contrary to that. It put fetters on people and manacles. All right? Meaning what? It lock them down. Or call them out for they what? They wrongdoing, and they know that it's wrong, so all they could do is come up to you with wrath. All a fool could do is wrath. And give you his wrath, because he don't want to be called out in this folly, man. I gotta get that. A fool change with the moon. So you can't have a godly discourse with a naked woman. And then, you know what I'm gonna say? You can. In some instances, you can do that. You know? Yep. This Proverbs 29:9. If a wise man contended with a foolish man, whether he rage or laugh, there's no rest, man. All right. So that, you know, obviously that was the point. Ultimately, man, is to basically show when you're dealing with somebody that's a light person, all right, then you can expect some heavy differences to come out of that, man. You know. Because why? They're not accustomed to wisdom. They don't, you know, is piercing their spirit. It's cutting asunder. It's discerning their intents of their heart. You know, and it really what? It's really telling them it's going against what they feel they free will to do. All right. So basically what you're doing is basically cutting their own. Basically, you cutting off what they love, man. All right, and substituting it with what they supposed to be doing. Everybody want to do what they want to do, not what they need to do. All right. So when you're dealing with the world and that intent of what people actually want to do, then you got to know what comes behind that. So you just got to be careful, you know, on how you dealing with a person, especially a fool, man. All right. If you're trying to get a fool to get wisdom, you got to use the craft that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua gave you, man, to be that fisherman, man, to you know, basically pull them in. But for the most part, you know, it's gonna be difficult dealing with women as it's difficult dealing with men. But at the end of the day, we got the scriptures to lead us and teach us on who to teach and you know, what to teach and how to teach. So, you know, that's pretty much the point. So I don't want to wrap this out with that, man. Till next time, I say shalom.